Well, with me now is Anand Menon. He's back with the programme from the UK in a changing Europe. He's been watching every twist and turn of this Brexit process. Happy New Year to you. Last night on my way home I was reading something that you wrote, and I'm going to read you a quote from it. You said the main reason that dossiers like the one that Tony Blair has produced today are not trusted is not necessarily because they lie, it's because the country to which they refer is not the one inhabited by many voters. What do you mean?
Well, I mean several things by that. I think two above all. One is aggregate economics works as a basis for describing a country, but in a country where the economy varies so widely between regions, it doesn't speak to everyone. And we saw that during the referendum campaign. While George Osborne was saying the economy is doing well, for those people suffering from austerity or suffering in parts of the country where wages were falling and the cost of living was going up, he was talking about a different country to theirs. And secondly, I think the result of the referendum campaign is that people have become suspicious about forecasts and predictions. People who believe that we should leave the European Union can all too easily say, well, look, they forecast doom immediately after we left, it hasn't happened, so they're wrong again now. And that's something that I think people who want to remain are really finding it hard to come up with a credible answer to.
So the Remainers who put forward economic arguments, they lose sight of the fact that really people didn't vote because of the economic arguments that were being put forward. They voted, in the Brexiteers' case, to take back control. And that, the argument goes, is what Tony Blair is trying to deny them, the democratic choice that they've made.
Well, yes and no. I think people voted Brexit for a wide variety of reasons, and there were a lot of people who voted for reasons that were nothing to do with economics, reasons to do with sovereignty, as you say. But even those people who voted on economic issues voted because they thought we'd get cash back if we left the European Union, or because wages would go up, or because migrants leaving would mean more jobs. So there were economic arguments on both sides. It's just that the sort of rather highfalutin claims about GDP and about trade didn't necessarily cut through with all the electorate in the way that the Remain camp hoped they would.
And for the Remainers, is Tony Blair really the best messenger for this?
Well, I mean, I can't speak for everyone in the country. Well, I'd say two things about Blair. Yes, he has a reputation. Yes, there are some people who, just because it's Blair, will say, well, he would say that, wouldn't he? But, you know, if you read Blair's article, the man still has a way with words. I mean, he has this lovely phrase in his article where he says, in the referendum, we got one choice. It was like a general election, he says, where you get to say, I don't like the government or I do like the government. What we didn't get was the positive option, what are we voting for? And that's why he's saying that ultimately, when we get a deal from the European Union, either Parliament or the people via a referendum should get a chance to vote on what's on the table. And as it stands, it's a convincing case. But the problem, as you say, is partly the messenger, partly the fact that our country is so divided that you end up with Remainers talking to Remainers and Leavers talking to Leavers. And what hasn't happened yet is that Remainers have found a way to cut through to speak to Leavers.
Yeah, that is the critical point, isn't it? Everybody's talking within their own sound bubble. Yeah. Alan, really good to see you.
And you.
Thanks very much.